Hello, today we'll look at some ellipse examples. Alright, so first, the standard form for the equation of an ellipse is shown below. We either have a horizontal or a vertical ellipse. This equation is for the center at 0, 0. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of it though. The equation x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. Where a is the bigger number. So when a is the bigger number under the x value, then it's horizontal. When it is the bigger value under the y value, it's vertical. Okay? So now here it is for when I have an actual center and it's not at 0, 0, so I have an HK. And so the center for both of them, so whether it is vertical or horizontal, is HK. The shape, these are the different shapes that I have. Again, this is where A is the greater, so greater under x squared will give us this shape. Greater under y squared will give us this shape. The foci, and the way that you will find the foci, you have to find the C, and you find C using the focal length equation. So here's the focal length equation here. Here are the vertices, and we're going to go ahead and do some examples. This is not a full lesson, this is just example problems. So if you have questions regarding that, please feel free to ask. All right. Also, again, wanted to show you a couple more pictures. I forgot that I had all these pictures in here. So here again are the major axes and what the when it's a vertical major axis, this is what the ellipse looks like. And when it's a horizontal, this is what the ellipse looks like. Again, same picture, except I have the center, not the vertex, excuse me. The center is not at 0, 0. So I have an HK this time. All right, so for the following problems, we're going to identify the center, the vertices, the co-vertices, and the foci, and then we're going to sketch a graph. Now, there are other things that we can do. Just going back here. Please feel free to do those things. You can use this equation. Hopefully after this video, you will feel more confident in using the equations. All right, so here's my first one. I have x plus 3 squared divided by 16 plus y minus 1 squared divided by 4 equals 1. And I can quickly and easily see that this is horizontal. And why is it horizontal? Because the larger value is under my x. So let's go ahead and map out what we have. So I know that my a squared is equal to 16. My b squared is equal to 4. I can quickly and easily see that my center, I'm just going to say center is C, is at -3, 1. And it's -3 because of the formula. The formula is x minus h. And so this is a plus h, so that's going to give me the opposite value. And it's y minus k, so that's going to give me that same value. The vertices, and I'm just going to say V for vertices, would be my h, which is -3, plus or minus my a value. So my a value is the square root of 16, and the square root of 16 is plus or minus 4. Then comma 1, and I can solve those out. So that's going to be -3 plus 4, which is 1, 1, and -3 minus 4, which is -7, 1. Co-vertices, and let me go back really quick. On here, it doesn't actually say co-vertices, it just says vertices. So this is my vertices for the horizontal. However, if I want to find it for the vertical, then my co-vertices is the opposite and vice versa. So the co-vertices would be instead -3, 1, plus or minus the square root of 4, which is plus or minus 2. And again, I can solve those out. That'll give me -3, comma 3. That's 1 plus 2 is 3. And -3. 1 minus 2 is -1. Okay. The last one we were supposed to find is the foci. And before I find the foci, I have to find the foci length. And the formula for that is a squared minus b squared equals c squared. And so that will be 16, just plugging in the values that I have, minus 4 is equal to c squared. So that's 12 equal c squared. I want c though, so that's going to give me plus or minus, because I'm taking the square root of 12. Oops, I wrote that way too big. Is equal to c. Or if I go ahead and simplify this, that's going to be 2 root 3. And so the foci, just going to denote that with F, would be -3 plus or minus 2 root 3, comma 1. All right, so I'm not going to graph my foci, so I'm not going to go ahead and put that in decimal form or anything, but I am going to graph this. So let's put the center here first. So that's going to be -3, 1. So it's -3, 1 is my center. All right, and my vertices are at 1, 1. So this is 1, 1. And -7, 1. And my co-vertices are at -3, 3, which is here, and -3, 1, which is here. And please forgive me, but there's my ellipse, kind of. All right, let's go to the next one. So again, I'm going to write down what I know. So I know that the bigger number is 15, so that has to be my a. So a squared is 15. B squared is 5. So that means that this is vertical. Vertical deals with the y-axis. My center, I'm going to denote that with a C. It's going to be 3, 1. And this time I'm adding everything to the y, right? So that's the major axis that I'm looking at, my y-axis. So my vertices will be 3, comma 1, plus or minus the square root of 15. This one's going to be more difficult to graph, correct? Because I have that decimal there. Plus or minus just means, just like we did for the other one, that I have the two values. I'm not going to write it out. It'll be 1 plus the square root of 15 and 1 minus the square root of 15. Co-vertices, remember they're the exact same thing, except I'm using my B, so I'm doing the opposite axes. So that's going to give me 3 plus or minus the square root of 5, comma 1. And again, I'm not going to evaluate that any further. To find the foci, I need to find the focal length. I am going to do a squared minus b squared equals c squared, which gives me 15 minus 5 equals c squared. And I get 10 is equal to c squared. So that's going to give me plus or minus the square root of 10 is equal to c. And really, when focal length, I would just say the square root of 10, but I know that I'm going to use that for my foci, and I'm going to denote that with just a plain old F. And so again, I'm adding it to the y value, so that's going to give me 3, and my y value is 1, comma 1 plus or minus the square root of 10. And I went ahead and drew it out for us quickly because I don't want to run out of time on my recording, but I did plot the center. I did do the vertices and the co-vertices. All right, so now let's get to the nitty-gritty. I think this is actually a better one, so let's do this one. So the first thing I need to do is complete the square, and I pray that I have enough time to complete this, everyone. So in order to complete the square, I am going to get my x values together. So that's 9x squared, and I'm putting my minus 36x next to it. Then I'm going to put my y values together. That's 4y squared, and I'm putting plus 24y. And that's equal to negative 36. I went ahead and moved that to the other side of the equation because it's equal to 0. I am going to divide this 9 squared, this x part by 9 to move that x out so I can complete the square. And when I do that, I get 4. And so 4 divided by 2 is 2, squared is 4. And I can't forget that over here I need to also add what I added over here. So 9 times 4 is that plus 36. Sorry, I ran out of space. I'm writing it like that. And then over here I have 4. I'm going to factor out that 4. So that's y squared plus 6y. And again, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. And then 4 times 9 is again 36. All right, so I've completed my square. So I have 9 times x. It's a minus sign here, so minus 2 squared plus 4 times y. It's a plus sign here, so plus 3 squared. And then all that equals 36. Can't have 36 here, so I'm going to divide everything by 36. And I get x minus 2 squared over 4 plus y plus 3 squared over 9 equals 1. So now it's in the general form, so I can quickly see the center is at 2, negative 3. I can easily see that my a squared is under my y, so that means it's vertical. So my a squared is 9. My b squared is 4. So then I can find my vertices. My vertices will be 2, negative 3, plus or minus 3. And then my co-vertices will be 2 plus or minus 4, comma, negative 3. All right, I can evaluate those. Oh, and I need to find my c, my length. So that's going to be 9 minus 4 equals c squared. So I get 5 equals c squared. So plus or minus square root of 5 equals c. So my foci, again, I'm adding to my y, so that's going to give me 2 times negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 5. All right, so let's plot. We have 2, negative 3. All right, so my center was at 2, negative 3. That's what I have here. My first one is at 2, negative 3 plus 3 will give me 2, 0. The next one is 2, negative 3 minus 3 will give me 2, negative 6, which is here. Then here I have 2 plus 4, which will give me 6, negative 3. So that is at, wait a minute. This is supposed to be a 2. I apologize for that. The square root of 2 is 2, so 2 plus or minus 2. So that would be 4, negative 3. I plotted it correctly though. So that's at 4, negative 3, and the other one is at 0, negative 3. And here is my ellipse. And I hope that this helps.